From countering the monk to using the P.E.K.K.A, here are 29 tips for 29 minis in Clash Mini. Barbarian has 3 different abilities, with them increasing his damage, hit speed and health, where all serve different uses. You can use the extra health to tank a few more hits to save your backlines. The +1 damage should be paired up with minis who can double your damage like the Barbarian King or the Nature Mode. And the 0.3 hit speed buff mathematically provides more value than extra damage at any start. So if you don't have any troops which will double your damage, then always go for the hit speed buff first. Place your archer in a latter round, and because she's a 2-cost mini, you can easily max her out. And what this allows you to do is archer can now specifically choose a certain ranged carry like the witch or the magic archer, and because she doesn't has an infinite range, so you can't change her target. Pair the knight with the wave master. This allows you to taunt all the enemy units which will potentially damage a win condition like the bandit, swordsman or the dagger goblin, which you will flip to the other side, and this will allow them to survive for way longer. Wizard although doesn't has a great DPS, but because of his splash damage and anti-heal, he can pair up really well with troops having boost abilities like the Dagger Goblin, Swordsman or the Royal Champion. Ice Wizard probably has one of the coolest ability in the game, and here is a fun way to use him. Since the monk cannot cancel your Ice Wizard's Clash ability, you can overcharge the monk's Slash ability and then freeze one of your main tank at the front to absorb all the damage from the monk super, and that Ice Wizard slow is toxic enough already. Spear Goblin has one of the strongest Clash ability in the game, which can put a lot of pressure on your opponent, but it can easily be cancelled by the Fisherman and the Prince. So place him behind the monk so that it can't be cancelled by both of them, and also you can place a tank in front of the Spear Goblin so that it won't be cancelled by the Prince charge. You might have seen people pair up the Witch and the Electro Wizard with the Nature Bond. You can place the Miner to pop a hole in their setup, ruining their plan, and also then the Miner can dissipate your opponent minis. Guard is a really strong 2-cost mini who can tank a lot of damage, and he creates some awesome synergy with the Grand Warden. When he is fully maxed, he can help the Grand Warden to get 3 damage, 1 from the Clash ability, 1 when he loses his shield, and 1 with the KO ability. Lumberjack can be a great mini who allows you to charge up your super way quicker, tank a few hits, and most importantly gives a head start to your team. Dagger Goblin can be really hard to use. Here are the 2 most important things with him. Place him at the back. This allows him to not get targeted easily, and secondly, avoid using stun abilities on enemy units. This allows your enemy units to retarget towards your Dagger Goblin. Mini P.E.K.K.A has one of the most interesting ability in the game, which allows him to do crits against stun targets. So pair him with minis having stun abilities like the Wave Master and the Mega Knight, and then he can just eat the entire board. Many a times, enemy units might escape from the giant skeleton explosion, and the trick to prevent is to place another tank near the giant skeleton so that they don't show a lot of movement, and this almost assures the chance of dealing damage and stunning enemy units. The Bowler's Clash ability cannot be prevented by placing tanks in front of the main carry, so this provides you opportunities to sneak up some kills from the Clone, Devil's Deal or the Curse style. Valkyrie can be an awesome unit to counter healing abilities, and she can stack up way quicker if you target multiple units with her. So wait a little and then find the perfect placement to stack up way quicker. Pair the Dart Goblin with minis which can multiply his damage, making it way easier to get KOs, triggering his boast ability way quicker. And also when he is properly stacked up, he can turn into stupidity, and after that there is no holding back. Time to spam emotes on your opponent. The Swordsman can deal a lot of damage if his target is isolated, so throwing him with the Wave Master allows you to specifically choose an enemy's backline unit and then slowly chain super and finish the entire backline down. Get the second and the third upgrade on the Musketeer and protect the Musketeer from the Miner, and then when the Musketeer gets a super, she's gonna stun the Miner, and once the stun is over, at that time your units will retarget towards the Miner. Golden Giant heavily relies on getting stunned, so if you see your opponent running any kind of stun based deck, then 3-starring him is gonna be your best play. Healing Ranger is a really strategic mini, so when deciding what minis you want to get healed, always pay attention to your farthest ally. Fisherman has one of the fastest Clash ability in the game. This allows him to cancel a lot of Clash abilities except the Prince charge, Wave Master Clash, Monk Clash, Grand Warden Shield, Shield Maiden Clash or the Ice Wizard's block ability. So other than that, you can use the Fisherman's Clash ability as a silence ability. P.E.K.K.A can deal a lot of damage on her own, but if you pair her with things like the Barbarian King or the Nature Bond, we are talking about 48 damage, which is a lot of damage. Since the healing done by the battle healer is percentage based, so pair her with minis having higher HP to heal more HP like the Shield Maiden or the P.E.K.K.A. Also with the energy upgrade, Shield Maiden will gain 5 energy every time you heal her, which is more than even half of energy requirement of the Shield Maiden. For the bandit, just throw her with the Wave Master. This allows her to instantly charge her super, and this allows her to dash all around the board and finish the entire board by just dashing. Make your important minis invisible with the Royal Ghost and protect them. Some great examples are the Dagger Goblin, P.E.K.K.A. Magikarp can deal 3 times the damage if at point blank range with the help of the first upgrade. Mega Knight is another really strong tank, and if you give him the larger area, then he can even stun the minis in the same lane till the last throw. And so it's really good to stop minis like the Dart Goblin or the Archer Queen. Prince can be used for various uses like sending enemy tank to the back for a good chunk of time or cancelling enemy splash abilities like the Fisherman and the Bowler. The Electro Wizard and the Witch creates an awesome synergy where the Electro Wizard can instantly charge up the Witch Super, and then the Witch can protect her allies from opponent's Electro Wizard with the help of the skeletons.